Alright, from our cast it, we're casting a replay on one of the new maps, which is Entombed Valley. In the bottom right, in the red jersey, we have spawning as a Terran, Terranisaur, which is a very clever name actually. In the bottom left, we have spawning in the blue jerseys, our blue Protoss, exioNBeSt. Entombed Valley is one of the new maps for the Blizzard ladder. You have a pretty wide base, or good enough space. It leads to a small ramp, which actually leads to lots of mobility. You've got a big ramp down here, and a natural that is pretty easy to defend. No other kind of secret ramps or anything like that. You got some destructible rocks, which leads to your third, and there's a big ramp down here to worry about. There aren't any golds or anything like that on this map. Plenty of spaces to expand though, and there's a Xel'Naga watchtower in the middle, which doesn't really get a whole lot of use. Now, one major difference that we're already seeing, exioNBeSt is doing a 10 gate, which definitely is an indication of early pressure. Still chrono boosting his probes though, but it looks like he's going to throw some early zealots at Terranisaur. I really like that name. That's a badass name. So Terranisaur not adding any kind of gas right now. He's probably going to do a 15. He's probably going to do his 1 Rax expand, as we've been seeing. exioNBeSt is adding a gas though, so what we might be seeing is an homage to the old school Korean 4 gate, where you'll get 50 gas quickly. You'll pull guys off gas and just have everything mine minerals, and that way, when you do that, you can just build pylons in your opponent's base, warp in a bunch of zealots, and GG from there. But we'll see what happens when he gets to about 50 gas. Now the Terran is still not getting any gas, so likely at a pretty soon we're likely either going to see another supply depot or a command center. And Terranisaur is being really bold, building it right there with actually no regard to exioNBeSt probe right there. Terranisaur is just, you know what? I'm going to build that right there, and there's not anything you can do about it. Now, exioNBeSt is still continuing to mine gas, so it's a really, really early warp gate rush. It's likely what we're going to see, but it literally could be anything. One Zealot walking up the ramp, and that one Marine really can't kite that Zealot from forever, but with some SCV help, he should be able to. The second Marine popping out. Some SCVs pulling in to actually act as a buffer. Terranisaur doing a really good job of holding this up. Trying to get in there, trying to do any kind of final damage to that last Marine. Being able to swipe that down, but gets killed by those SCVs. But another Zealot walking right in. And an actual perfect surround by those SCVs. And that's not a trade I'd like to do. I mean, we only killed one worker, but from the unit's loss tab, Protoss is in a deficit. Terranisaur doing a good job of utilizing SCVs to build additional wall, and that Zealot's going to turn around and go home. Now, interesting enough, exioNBeSt is doing an expansion right now. So he decided that those first 2 Zealots weren't worth it, and decided to expand from there. So, really interesting play. The Zocker and Zealot kiss as they walk by. Stalker looking like he's going to try to apply a little bit more pressure. Bunker going down, and Terranisaur is getting his second gas. exioNBeSt doing really aggressive with the Protoss play. Now we see some additional barracks coming from Terranisaur. It looks like we're going to see some bio play. But 2 gas though, it's really interesting what he's going to decide to do with that. 2 Stalkers right up there. Another gateway being built at home. It's going to bring him up to 2. Getting a second gas. So we look at the workers tab. We both see 20 workers for both. I'm definitely going to have to favor the Terran over here. As we've talked about, having more mules is definitely important, and he can build 2 SCVs at a time. But food's pretty even, but we can definitely see that's favoring the army count of exioNBeSt. Marines walk down, take out a Stalker, and the Stalker decides to do a little bit more damage. I really do commend Exine for being aggressive. It's just almost suicidally aggressive. Going to the units tab, exioNBeSt lost 2 Marines and an SCV, losing a Pro, 2 Zealots, and a Stalker is definitely not a trade you want to make with a Terran. Salvaging the bunker and placing it down there. And both expansions landed about the same time. We see third gateway in a robotics facility from exioNBeSt. And a really late work game. You okay?
Yeah.
Spring's getting drunk in the corner while doing homework. It's the best time to do it. We see 4 barracks, a factory, and an engineering bay on the way. I think it's an engineering bay. It's an engineering bay. So we're going to see heavy bioplay from Terranisaur. What's a dinosaur name you can make from Protoss? Do you think anyone that's watching can help? I'm pretty sure you can find something from Zerg. Twilight Council going down for exioNBeSt. We see Stem and a couple turrets going down for Terranisaur. Make sure there aren't any Dark Templar shenanigans going on. Triceratops is pretty good. Proterasaurus? Proterasaur. Tyrannosaur doing a good job of scouting, making sure there's no other kind of hidden expansions or anything like that going on. We see a starport and 2 forges and a Twilight or a Templar Archives go down for exioNBeSt. So likely we're probably going to see a transition into Chargeline Archon. Or some storm usage. It's definitely the way to go. This is the type of style I like to do. I'm not so aggressive in my PvT. I mean, I do like to poke here and there with a Stalker, but I'm not suicidal like that Observer was. I mean, as you can see in these games, these guys are definitely on the ball. They're definitely meticulous in terms of their planning. Protoss is almost to 48 workers. Now, Terranisaur has cut workers. He's not building as many. So what he might be doing is he might be going for a window and deciding that might be the time that he wants to end the game. We see some building swamping. We see a reactor go on that starport, and we see the scouting factory we've all grown to know and love come out and make a poke. Like I said, it's a big indicator that goes, I'm going bio, herp derp. But I want to see just one time someone go Sky Terran and do that. But they have to wait to make it seem like it is. Or they have to time it to strike. Taking out the rock so he can properly take his third. Now Terranisaur is doing a good job of holding that watchtower, but I mean, literally the path to take to the base isn't covered by the watchtower, which is kind of unfortunate. So we go down to the production tab. 4 more gateways are being warped in. Psystorm research got just completed, and 1-1 is about halfway done. 1 just completed for Terran. Mobius reactor, so we're going to see some ghosts as well, and some Marine Marauder medevac being built. Scouting factory is going to roll in and see if he finds anything. I'm just only slightly nervous that there's a big food differential. There are about 20 food difference. I think it had to do with Exion like suiciding his initial units and the build choice that he did, but it definitely put Terranisaur on his back foot. He was like, nope, I'm not going to, he's not going to be able to do what he wants to very comfortably. So we see a forward pylon, so we know that there isn't any kind of fishy business going on, but he brings all of his anti-air back, which is not a whole lot of anti-air. And exioNBeSt doing very smart, hiding his Templar so that the actual factory can't be able to see it, and he didn't even have a sight of the Templar archive, so he doesn't know that that's happening. So very good play by him. Look at the units tab. We have 51 SCVs to 55 probes. A good mix of Marine Marauder Medevac with some Vikings for funsies. And we see a Warp Prism loading up those Templar. Let's see if he utilizes that for either a drop or just a way to be able to protect his guys. He actually has the Warp Prism only in his own control group. He's actually either boxing everything else, or he's either boxing everything else, or he's utilizing another thing to control all that. So as we can see, the food differential is starting to get pretty close. I'm very nervous about those Vikings, though, because those Vikings are automatically going to target the Warp Prism. In the production tab, we see +1 armor getting done. +2 is about 2/3 of the way done for Protoss. We see 3 additional tech labs, and holy bejesus, that's a lot of zealots being warped in right there. And exioNBeSt is going to go for it. Oh, those Vikings! No! Oh, those storms getting pulled off! Force field's getting pulled down. Every Terran unit is so deep into the red. And just like that, Terranisaur's lead was snapped by exioNBeSt play right there. He did a good job of warping in the units right there. He utilized the Warp Prism to be able to come around and drop the Templar in. The Templar weren't considered hostile, so they were able to cast a lot of storms, and from there the rest is history. Wow. That's very ballsy play. Terranisaur is now extinct. So, good job to exioNBeSt. Nicely done. Nicely done.